What's up, everybody? This is Morgan Shackelford with the Salty Pine Podcast, and I've got my buddy Brandon Arthur here with me, and he's going to be my co-host for the Salty Pine Podcast. Yeah, we're going to get one of these things rolling here. So, like I said, my name's Morgan Shackelford, and I live in Eastern North Carolina. Grew up in Eastern North Carolina. Grew up hunting and fishing. Kind of got started a little bit later in life, but it kind of consumed me, and I anything hunting and fishing, if you can do it, I'm all for it. I've always been big into trying to find a podcast that talked about hunting and fishing in Eastern North Carolina, and there has never been one specifically dedicated to Eastern North Carolina because you have these guys that come in from out of state or out of town, and they'll go with a fishing guide or a hunting guide, and they'll do like one episode about something specific in Eastern North Carolina, but never like the full spectrum. So my backstory, like I said, I do a little bit of everything: deer, duck, bear, uh, all saltwater fishing. Um, yeah, and that's just my passion. And of course, Brandon here, he's the same way. Brandon, if you want to give a little backstory.
Yeah, growing up is all I've been around. My family, I come from a family that does it a lot, but my biggest influence growing up and the person who got me into hunt was actually my brother. And ever since I could be able to go with him, I fell in love with it pretty quickly. So just growing up, that's all I've wanted to do. Getting out of school was first place I wanted to go was go hunting or fishing. And so now I'm at school up here at Wilson and playing at Barton College on the baseball team here. So it kind of interferes with hunting season, not as much as I would like, but yeah, I just do it when I can, when I'm home, and I'm excited to be able to be on here and be a part of this and talk about some of the experiences me and you have had and some that we've actually shared. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Looking back on it now, I kind of realized we have shared a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, a little bit more of my backstory is, kind of like Brandon, where he's at school. I work away from home. I work on tugboats, work on ocean going tugboats all up and down the East Coast, and down in the Gulf of America now. And my schedule is like a 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off kind of deal. So it takes away into my hunting time too. So being able to do one of these things, especially trying this remote for episode number 1 that we're getting going here, um, at least I get to talk about it and get to look back on everything and at least talk about my passion for the outdoors in North Carolina. Um, so hopefully, keep that rolling, especially while I'm here at work. I'm at work right now. Got my room behind me. Not the best looking background you can have. Same thing with Brandon.
It's,
He's at school.
it's okay. It's okay. I'm currently in the library right now. It's okay. So don't pay attention to the whiteboard. So
Yeah,
we're
this
talking
is
about it.
this is the most unprofessional podcast starting out, but we're gonna
This
make it
is the
work.
most yeah. This is the most uncut as it's going to get.
I mean, here we are talking about an outdoor podcast, and here you are sitting in a library, and here I am sitting in my room on a tugboat.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
That's right. That's right. It's what we talk about. It's not about where we're
Where we're
talking about
at.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously, we're going to be talking about our passion of the outdoors. Like I said, there's nothing, there's no podcast or YouTube channel that does podcasting that has anything specifically to Eastern North Carolina. And that's what we're going to be talking about. My biggest thing, and what I always tell people, is that Eastern North Carolina, you can't go a whole month without some type of season going on. There's
You're
always
always doing
something to do.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if you're any type of an outdoorsman, Eastern North Carolina is a sportsman's paradise.
Hmm.
If any type of fishing, even freshwater fishing, I mean, you go up to Roanoke, go up to Plymouth, and all the way up to Weldon. I mean, they have some of the Bassmaster tournaments. You go to Elizabeth City, they have the Bassmaster tournaments there. If you're into saltwater fishing, you have the whole Outer Banks. Offshore, you have Oregon Inlet. We have the Big Rock. I mean,
Yeah.
can't pretty much get any bigger than that.
That's one of the
Um,
things we're blessed. That's one of the things we're blessed. Like people come from all over states and stuff just to come to something that we call our back door. Like growing up, this is like we don't pay it no mind. Like it's a big deal to us, but it's just another thing for us. Whereas people out of state, it's like a big deal for them to come down here for a week and to be able to experience what we get to every month.
yeah, I mean, we really, and I tell people all the time, and we take for granted what we have.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I love getting, especially the scenery that we have. Hence, where the name came from, the Salty Pine. I actually came up with the idea. I was on my boat one day, and I have a tower on my boat for cobia fishing and sight casting on drum, even though I've only done it a handful of times. But if you go down to Hyde County or even parts of Beaufort County on the Pamlico and Pungo River, and you get on the tower and you just ride, and it's just salt marsh after salt marsh. You can't see hardly any houses. It's untouched, and it's absolutely serene. It just takes my breath away every time I ride on the tower, like through the marsh. I mean, you know how it is when we're looking for bait for drum fishing. Like
Well,
it's
yeah.
peaceful.
The funny thing about that, I'm not usually in the tower. I'm the bait catcher. Yeah. I just get told where to throw the cast net, so I can't relate to that as much as you can, as you can.
Well, at least at the beginning, you got to ride in the tower because you
Yeah.
didn't know how to throw the cast net. After I taught you that one day when we couldn't even find bait, I was just like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a casting and
Yeah.
throwing class."
So,
But
what I wanted to add was people that are listening to this, being it's the first episode, I wanted to like not ask you, but I want you to like explain like the episodes and how everything's going to like work, being that you're at work and I'm at school. Like, we're gonna try to
so
do like a weekly thing.
yeah, so my game plan is that we're gonna do like a weekly. I'm gonna be publishing hopefully weekly. So on my 3 weeks off, I'm going to be filming hopefully 6 episodes with friends and guides and friends of guides and all that kind of stuff. Have a lot of friends that do a lot of hunting and fishing. So be bringing them on, talking about different topics, and hopefully be bringing them on to talk about the stuff that's coming up. For instance, like, when everybody starts applying for their swan permits. And most of the time that starts taking place in like the late summer because I think now the cutoff is what, September now? Is it September 1st? I think so.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they do the drawing later on in the month. But anyway, so like probably August, bring some of the guys that do swan hunts in and get them talking about how to apply for the swan permit. You got people from listening from out of state, they kind of need to know because I mean people do it all the time, but anyway, talk about stuff like that that's upcoming. That way, so hopefully by the time it gets published, it's still just before the season comes in and we can be talking about what's happening in
Mhm.
the area. That's the game plan. Um, I have filmed 4 episodes before we've done this one. I just want to get this one out first to explain everything. And one of the first one we talked about was like sea duck hunting, and it was for the 2 day season in October, and had some guys come on and talked about how they scouted and what they saw and how just the 2 day season isn't ideal for sea ducks and that kind of thing. But we talked about what they do and their backgrounds and what their hopes are for the season. And same thing with the other one that me and you did, or that you hosted, and talked about the swan season and how last year's waterfowl season was and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Like,
we
I'm glad.
hopefully get good.
I said I'm glad you talked about like So with me up here, I'm gonna try to help him as much as I can with his work schedule. He gets very busy sometimes. So if there's an episode or a week that he's not able to be here, I'm gonna be taking over and doing as many episodes as he needs me to, or whenever he needs me. I'll be available and I'll be running a couple of the episodes for you when you can't make it.
Yeah. And for anybody that doesn't know, we have I started the social media side. I've got an Instagram account. We've got the Facebook account. Getting that rolling, and hopefully be putting out some clips of some of the episodes with the videos on that. And if anybody's got any pictures and stuff they want to send in and stuff they want to see talked about, post it on the page. Send it in. I'll post it on the page. Whatever. Um, and really, like I said before, we'll roll into why we are planning on doing this. And I said it before, is that nobody's really ever focused strictly on Eastern North Carolina for us. Like Brandon said, and how I feel, we just take for granted what we have at our back door every day.
And it serves as an opportunity not only for me and you and the other people to be able to talk about our experiences and our stories and how we've grown up in it, but it allows the people that come on here, such as the outfitters and the guides and stuff, it allows them to promote not only themselves, but the kind of clientele they have and their experiences and where they come from and where they've gotten and their plans for future seasons coming up.
Yeah. I mean, one of my good friends, we started hunting and fishing together out of high school. And he had always joked about guiding. And Brandon, you know him. I'm just not going to mention his name right now, but we grew up hunting and fishing together, and he always talked about guiding, and always kind of joked about, like, man, you're never going to do that. You get burnt out on it. Well, he did it, and now he's one of the best inshore fishing guides in Eastern North Carolina, in my opinion. Um, and I remember some mornings going out there and we didn't know what the heck we were doing. I remember one year, I think we built like 5 to 10 different duck blinds on his boat one year just to go duck hunting. And we duck hunted every day of the season. I think we missed like 3 days of the whole season. But love to get him on here and just talk about the old stories and now what he does professionally and that kind of thing. But
And like this podcast and Ben is getting started, this ain't gonna be like no like high end podcast that you see out on like YouTube or anything. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of just like an opportunity to just sit around a bunch of guys and just talk about just shoot the crap and just be able to like just have a full on conversation about the outdoors and where we live.
yeah. So like my whole goal when I came up with this idea was to do a mostly unedited podcast where I don't have to edit a bunch. I just want the boys sitting around, having a few, shooting the bull, talking about old stories, what they perceive for the future, um, that kind of thing. I mean, we've got plenty of stories and probably some stories that we probably don't need to tell here.
And future
But,
stories that we're gonna have to tell.
and, well, future stories we are going to have to tell, but we also don't want to put incriminating evidence online.
No.
But yeah, so I mean, just unedited sitting around. I do have some obviously this first one, we're sitting here with just AirPods in, kind of doing a Skype thing, for the first one, but it's just this to explain everything to everybody. But I do have podcast equipment and we are gonna have everything set up in kind of like an out I wouldn't say like a rustic cabin setting, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, just sit around on couches or sit around a table, have a few, and shoot the bull. I mean,
Do you wanna go in and talk about the months? I know we talked about first when we first started this, like every month you're busy doing something. Should we would you like to jump in to talk about each month and what each month entails?
yeah. So let's jump into the months. We'll start with we'll start with January. Let's go on down the months.
Mm-hmm.
So like what I have for like January And before I get rolling on all the months, how I said there isn't a month in Eastern North Carolina where there is you can be doing something all the time outdoors. It's sportsman's paradise. Every month there is something to do. And growing up, I did spend a little bit of time playing video games and that kind of stuff, but I did spend a lot of time outdoors. So, like, when it came to hunting and fishing, there's something for every month. And we're just going to kind of roll through those months and kind of talk about what we do. Obviously, there's more. So, if
Hmm.
anybody listening or watching wants to put any insight and add more stuff, hey, we're down to talk about it. I'm down to try new stuff. I mean, that's just like freshwater fishing. I don't do a lot of it, but I have done it. I don't know what times of the year do you do that. Do you?
No, I don't. That's why it started as a good opportunity to allow people to come on here and be able to talk about it that actually know what they're doing.
Yeah. So like January, for instance, you're finishing up duck season, and a lot of people now, especially our friends, they'll tell you we wish duck season extended right on into February because you got more ducks in February than you do December. But January is a hot month for duck hunting in Eastern North Carolina. Open water. Then you've got all the impoundments in our area. I mean, you have all these duck hunting clubs. Your brother, he guides at a duck club. Um,
Hmm.
a bunch of our friends guide for their own stuff. Got some good, buddies that guide swan hunts, and that's a big thing in our area because we're one of only 5 states that does swans. I think it's 5 states. So waterfowl hunting is a big thing in January. And of course, and I'll go ahead and cover this topic too. Trout fishing, you can do all 12 months in Eastern North Carolina,
Right.
as long as we don't have a hard freeze. Which what was it?
Hmm.
Was it 2 years ago we had the hard
It
freeze?
was it was 2 or 3 years ago where it got really bad.
Yeah, and then they had the big stun and all that stuff. I know last year they did too, and that was when it snowed a little bit and it stunned a lot of them. And they cut the what was it, the limit down or the season?
Yeah, I think it's three, 14 to 18 or 14 to 20, and then one over 25.
Yeah. So that's January. February starts kind of slacking off a little bit. Normally for me, February and March are like my downtime. That's like, there's not a lot going on, but there's still stuff to do, and I have done it. You still have trout fishing if you don't have the big freeze. Rock season starting up, of course. A lot of people don't know, some people do, that Weldon, even though it's kind of getting more to the central part of the state, but Weldon is the rockfish capital of the world, so they claim. It's where a lot of the rockfish go to spawn. A buddy of mine, he travels up to Weldon every year just to chase the rockfish. He starts Albemarle Sound, chase them up the Roanoke, past Plymouth, through Williamston, right on up to Weldon to Roanoke Rapids. Um, so February you have that, and then you also have trapping.
Hmm.
I had a few buddies that we've done trapping in the past. I don't. Did you ever get into trapping, Brandon?
I mean, I went with my brother does it or used to do it. Probably still does it. I went with him a little while, but I've never done it myself.
Yeah.
We
So a
need
lot of
to.
people, we definitely need to. We have the big coyote problem, and of course, the whole red wolf issue in Eastern North Carolina. That's a whole different subject we'll talk about later. Um, but yeah, we got trapping in February. March, you got pretty much that's full on rock fishing up and down the Roanoke. And then everybody's also starting to scout for some turkeys,
Right.
That's when you start seeing the turkeys. Pretty much April, you're
Turkey
right into
season
turkey season.
opens. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And you got,
longbeards.
yep, pretty much everybody's on that. And of course, I know we're not going to be talking about farming, but a lot of us have farming backgrounds, and it it comes a struggle too because now you're trying to turkey hunt during farming season when everybody's planting and plowing and everything like that. So you're trying to get that in the mornings before you go out and go do stuff on the farm. After turkey season, you still have fishing that's going on. May, we're getting right on into cobia season, one of my favorite seasons.
I'm glad it's your favorite season. I can't catch one.
Well, we've tried. Ain't like we haven't tried.
Ain't like we haven't tried. I'm gonna get
But
one though.
we're gonna get there. So cobia season, cobias start running up the beach from Florida, and they're running up to the Chesapeake Bay to go spawn in the Chesapeake Bay. But they're gonna come by, um, you know, down around Moorhead, and then hit Hatteras, and then run up the beach to Oregon Inlet, and then once they pass Cape Hatteras, man, they're just on a beeline straight for Chesapeake Bay. So like you can get them really good one day out of out of Oregon Inlet, and then the next day they're gone.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll hold a little bit, but I've always noticed that some of the guys down there at Cape Hatteras, they'll catch them below the bite, and they'll kind of hold there for a little bit. Shoot, what was it? Last year, 2 years ago, uh, Bud caught one. He caught one over in High County.
I think it was last year. That's when he caught one. It was early
Yeah,
when he caught it. I do know that.
yeah.
I think he
So of
was
course
lost.
he was definitely lost. I used to work on the ferry too, down there between Hatteras and Ocracoke. And I remember in May and June, man, we would be on the ferry and the water would turn clear when it would blow out of the southwest, and you could be going across the inlet and you would see the cobia around the buoys there in the inlet. That was pretty cool. But also in May, that's when the schools of drum are also running up and down the beach. Me and Brandon here, we had a
Yeah.
good time. What was that? 2 years ago? That was the year you graduated, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. That was with me, you, Ryan, Joe, and Danielle. We went.
Yeah. Ended up catching what, 33 in an hour?
Yeah.
That was
It
pretty.
was
That was
it was
pretty.
stupid.
It was pretty intense. I mean, you
It's
could have
not.
threw a
Yeah,
bear hook out there.
yeah. I've never seen something like that before.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love drum fishing in the spring up and down the beach, especially when you're um, looking for a cobia on the tower, riding up and down the beach. I know this year, uh, took Chandler with me one day, and we ran into a school of black drum. That was something I'd never done before. Caught two big black drum. That was pretty cool.
And
Um,
with them 33, we weren't even trying to catch them. We were cobia fishing that day, and then we got a
yeah,
phone call. We got a phone call about drum schooling, so we picked up what we were doing and said, "Screw the cobia, we were going to go catch them," and that's what we did.
yep. Right on until about 5 o'clock. I think we were the last boat to come in Oregon Inlet that afternoon.
I think we didn't have a choice to come in there because I think we had a storm rolling in, and we didn't want to get caught going through the inlet in a storm.
That's right. We took
Yeah,
the South Channel next to the jetties. That was kind of sketchy
yeah,
too.
yeah. And a 25-foot dusky.
Oh, the old submarine.
Yeah, that's
But
a topic for another day.
yeah, well, I'm sure that'll be talked about between all of our friends.
Yeah, yeah. Then we roll into June.
Yeah, June. June, pretty much, man. It's just like it's an offshore month. It's like it's all about fishing offshore. Like
I
everybody's
got,
going for the. Good.
I got one word. I got one thing for June. The Big Rock.
Yes, can't forget the Big Rock. That's a fun time in Eastern North Carolina.
Yeah, and
Everybody's.
even if you're not fishing it, like there's an app on your phone that you can download, and we'll listen to the channels on the radio, the people talking. I mean, we don't even have to be fishing in it, and we get excited for it.
Oh yeah, man. I remember. I think it was 2 years ago when the sensation with that whole big deal with the whole shark bite thing, and they fought their fish and didn't come in till like 11 o'clock that night. We're sitting at my buddy's house listening to it, and we almost left to go down to Moorhead just to go watch that fish get weighted.
Which you went down there this year and watched it with your boat in the area, didn't you?
Yeah, so I took my boat down there this past year, and we were down there for like the last 2 or 3 days of the Big Rock, and actually we just stayed inside, did a little boat cruising, went over to Cape Lookout, went to the backside of Shackelford, and then I had my radio on in my boat and listening to the call-ins, listening to Randy Ramsey, give all the ETAs and everything. So whenever a boat would say, "Hey, we're going to be there at this time," like we would leave like Cape Lookout or we'd leave Shackleford and we just run back over to Big Rock Landing and just kind of hang out and watch the boats back in, man. That was like a whole different concept of sitting there at Big Rock Landing instead of being on the dock and just watching it from the boat. That was really cool.
Yeah. Then after June, we got July. Offshore still pretty happening. Then drum are starting to show up inshore a little slightly. It's not really heavy yet, but they're still slowly starting to make their way in.
Yeah, and that just depends on the year too. I mean, like we've had
Yeah.
our good years where like we've caught them early in the year. Like last year, me and you caught a drum,
We caught it
one of the
first of
bull
May.
drum. Yeah, it was first couple weeks of May we caught one, and then we really didn't. I don't think we even went and tried it. Or maybe we did. I can't remember. But they came early last year. Like I
Yeah.
felt like end of July and August was a hot month, but then the water temperature got extremely hot and it was tough fishing. And then all of a sudden we had the northeast blow this past year and water temperature dropped and it turned on. Unfortunately, I was stuck at work and didn't get a lot of that action, but we did fish the Sarah James tournament this year. That was a fun time.
That was a fun but interesting time. Blowing 25 to 30 out of the northeast is not a good scenario.
Yeah, and we decided that we were going to run the boat from home. Well, we're pretty much based out of Belhaven, and we ran the boat from home all the way down to Cedar Island, and that was definitely an experience.
Broke about
But
four
hey,
four welds.
yeah, broke some welds on the T top, took a couple waves over the bow.
Couple change of clothes.
Yeah, a couple changes of clothes.
Hey, but we fished it.
Luckily,
That's all that matters.
we fished it. We definitely put our time in, and man, me and you went to the same spot we fished the tournament. Two, no, we went
Three
to the
nights in a
same
row.
spot. Yeah, it was 2 or 3 nights in a row.
It
Three.
was it was three.
In those 3 nights, me and you, I think, put 20 some fish
In
in
the
the
boat.
boat in 3 nights.
Yep.
We go back there the fourth night or third night, the night of the tournament, and only put one fish in the boat.
The one night we needed to catch them, we didn't catch them.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not saying we had the winning fish out of those 3 nights, but we had a contender.
Yeah, but
I mean, you can tell what me and Brandon's passion is. Like we love drum fishing. Drum fishing is
which that's one of
it's
those. Yeah, that's one of the things you and my buddy Jay, y'all really got me into it, and I used to do it just here and there when I got invited like a couple years ago, but the past 2 years I've really devoted some time into learning the new spots, water temperature. I actually kind of have an idea of what I'm doing now, just learning and just going.
fun fact. I put this man right here on his first drum.
Yeah, you did.
I
I didn't
did.
even have my license.
Didn't even have your license. Your mama had to drop you off.
Yep, had to drop me off. Say I'll be back.
And we went down south that day. We went down to Pamlico County that day.
We
Caught
did.
them. But, and drum fishing, that's one of my favorite fishing seasons. I love cobia fishing, but I love drum fishing, especially bull drum fishing.
So that drum season kind of rolls into August and September as well. But with August, we got preparation for deer hunting season that comes in not too
Yep.
long after
So
that.
yep. So September, August, like you said, drum, finishing up drum. Well, I'd say August is like peak drum, and
Right.
then September, like you said, getting preparation ready for deer season. Also too, I mean, opening day of dove season. That's like a federal holiday. It should be
That's
anyway.
that's like the kickoff of hunting season.
Yeah, you can't beat opening day of dove season. I mean, I've had some great fun times opening day of dove season.
Yeah.
Um, Shoot, I can't even remember. A couple years ago, I remember we went dove hunting that morning, opening day. Had a buddy of mine that was He come down from the mountains to dove hunt with us, and he had never caught a drum. I said, well, we got done dove hunting that morning about 12 o'clock. We're sitting there at the shop eating, cooked on the grill, and I was like, hey, you want to go catch a drum? Left there and went and caught 5 drum that afternoon.
Yeah, because once opening day of dove season comes in, you're hunting something until March, and then you have a couple weeks, and then you're right back to April. So it's just a
Yeah,
continuous cycle.
yeah. I mean, dove season kicks it off. Dove
Yeah.
hunting, and then you also got bow season comes in.
The late
Everybody's getting,
September.
yep. And
Yeah.
then you got yeah. So you got bow season. And man, bow season's tough in East North Carolina, man, because it's still hot. September, I
Mosquitoes.
oh man, I hate a mosquito. You can't even have enough thermocells to get rid of a mosquito.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
And
But
then with September, end of September, people are starting to itch because rifle season opens up like the second week of October. So everybody's itching to go run their dogs and get their rifle sighted in, and it's just everybody's starting to itch.
oh yeah. And of course too, finishing out like August, September, everybody's starting to really run their dogs, getting the dogs back in shape, getting ready for October. Because opening day of rifle season is when you can run dogs for deer and shoot the deer in front of the dogs. So that's also a big thing in our area. We talk about that in one of our other podcasts we've already recorded, is dog hunting in Eastern North Carolina. Um, it's a big, big thing in America, and it's a big heritage thing.
Yeah,
But
that kind of just sums up. And then also in October, I know deer season comes in, but the bear hunters are starting to itch. I know right now when we're recording this, it's November the 10th, and bear season. When you roll into November, bear season opened up the 8th, so that
yeah,
leads into November.
yeah.
Then
Once
you
you
got the
have,
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, you've got bear season coming in October. No, excuse me, bear season coming in
November.
November for Beaufort and Washington County. Hyde County has a different season than everybody else. It's that whole northeast hunt zone and that kind of thing. So they have a little bit different season. Mainly November you have a 1 week bear season, and then December you have the 2 week bear season. And like Brandon said, it's the 10th of November now, and so it's been going on for 2 days. And man, there's been some bruisers killed already that I've seen pictures of. I wish I was home for it. I love bear hunting. That's an adrenaline rush like you will never have.
Also with November, bear season, and this is the first split of duck season. Duck season
Yeah,
just opened up.
duck season came in the same day as bear season.
Yeah, which they're doing something different this year with the youth days. I know, like last year when I was able to hunt youth days, they used to have youth days on like the last two or the first 2 weekends of February. Now they're doing youth day at the end of the first split, which the first split runs until November 29th, I believe. And then you have a couple weeks off, and then you come back, and it'll run through January, and then you'll have the last youth day at the end of the second split.
Yeah, that's right. Um,
You correct.
and that,
I might be wrong. That's just something I've heard through the. That's just what I've heard. So I'm pretty sure it's right. It's just something I
yeah,
figured I'd put in here.
which I didn't write down all the dates in my notes for this podcast. So I mean, you know, dates aren't
It's
accurate. Don't nobody go making comments on anything that we're off on our dates because we didn't put anything down in our notes. But
it's a
um,
close enough guess.
yeah, that's right. And so yeah, November's kicking it all off, man. It's really getting heated at home, and everything's going on. And then same thing into the December. December is when it starts getting colder, and when the second split comes in, that's always when it gets a little bit better on the duck hunting and waterfowl hunting. Also, too, swans are starting to show up. You said you were home this past weekend. You said you saw some swans showing up at home.
I saw a few. With this warm weather that pushed through, it kind of. I don't know. It might take a. I think if I had to guess, they'll start showing up at the end of this week. I hope they start showing up at the end of this week and beginning of next week.
Well, as we making this podcast right now. We just had a cold front blow through the day, so maybe tomorrow you'll start seeing a little bit more swans in the area. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all the months. And like I said, December, your deer, duck, and bear, and it's a great time. I mean, you can't beat it. I take everything for granted so much when it comes to Eastern North Carolina.
But yeah, I know. I mean, I'm excited. I know you are. I know you've devoted a lot of your time and a lot of your effort and your ideas into this podcast thing. So I'm excited to see where it goes and how well it does for you. I'm excited to be able to tag along and see where the journey takes us.
Yeah, man, we've. I feel like it's gonna do good. And like I was watching a video the other day on statistics on a podcast, and everybody's like, 90% of podcasts don't make it past like the first 5 episodes, and then like the next 10% don't make it past the next 20 episodes. Man, after all the topics we just covered, I think we're covered for a while.
Right.
We're
With
not,
this talking about what we do talk about, we're always gonna have something interesting to be able to share, and if we don't, we can always think of stuff because there's always something to do. Like you've said multiple times, there's always something to do. So that translate, there's always gonna be something to talk about.
yeah. And it's not just like we're a waterfowl podcast or we're a fishing podcast. We're an everything podcast when it comes to the outdoors. Um, And if there's stuff that we've missed going through this whole list that anybody wants to like email, the email address, I'll try and have that posted on all the social media sites, but it is the salty pine nc at gmail.com. Or if you want to leave a comment or send a direct message on any of that stuff, man, we'll talk about anything anybody wants to talk about. Something that we missed, something that we don't do. There's a lot of stuff that we don't do that a lot of other people do.
Or suggestions.
Yeah, or suggestions. I'm
And
all for it, man.
and especially if you're like a small business or somebody that's trying to get started and trying to share their platform, this will be a good way for that person to be able to get on here and talk about it and try to get their stuff started as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of mom and pop outdoor stores, and I know one just opened up this year there in Pactolus between Greenville and Washington. They've been trying to get their name out there. Of course, you have the bait and tackle shops at home. There's not a lot, especially where we live. It's kind of more or less like it's in a store. You got to go to like say Washington to go to East Side or something like that to go to a tackle shop that has a lot more variety of stuff. But we'd love to like have them come on, or if they want to, get their name out there a little bit more, we'll be more than happy to help them out too.
I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Of course, we got a lot of
We
criticism from all of our friends too.
Well, that just comes with an idea. I mean, that just comes with the boys.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a give me.
that's right. That's right.
They can talk, but they'll see later that they'll probably be in an episode very soon. So they can't say but so much.
That's right. Everybody gets so nervous talking in front of a camera. I mean, me and you have just had a almost a 40-minute conversation here, and I mean, we haven't stopped talking about it yet. And
No, that's one good thing about the topics we do talk about. I mean, we gonna have to control ourselves on how long we go because this is some stuff that we can talk hours about. You know what I mean?
yeah, oh yeah.
So,
I mean,
but
this is stuff we talk about on the daily anyway. Even when I text my friends when I'm here at work, I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about hunting and fishing. Joe
yeah.
called me earlier tonight. He was talking about running dogs and everything else. So, but
But now I'm
um,
excited for all the people we're gonna have on, and I'm excited to see what we're gonna talk about.
yeah. Hopefully, the next episode, maybe just with me and Brandon, will be back in a setting where we'll be together and you guys
Mm,
can kind of see the more stationary thing and with all the equipment and everything. Not like we're just winging it here, but
right.
yeah,
Because
just
I
wanted
mean,
to get
because
this one out there.
Yep.
But look forward to hearing from you guys. And, if you got any suggestions, like I said, reach out to us. If anybody that has any suggestions and you have my number, text me. I don't care. If you want to get on the show and talk about something, come on. We'll be more than happy to have you. If I can't do it, Brandon will be home. He can do it. Or we'll do it this way. Ain't no big
Yep.
deal.
We'll get it done.
We will definitely get it done. And we look forward to hopefully bringing more insight of everything about North Carolina to everybody. And not just people in North Carolina. I mean, if this thing goes countrywide and people start listening to it and want to come visit, dude, I mean, you got to think about all the Airbnbs and stuff that are like in our area and people when they advertise their Airbnbs, it's like, hey, we're close to hunting and fishing. There's a couple right there around my house where how they advertise their stuff for people to come stay is fishing's great and hunting's great. Come stay at our house.
Right. But
But yeah,
yeah, look forward to the next one.
that's right. So we'll see y'all on the next episode of Salty Pond.
Later.
Later.